free content for the coach, by the coach, raising the bar every week. The Internship Series, episode number 16. The Internship Series is sponsored by Hammer Strength. Hammer Strength has been building athletes for more than 25 years. Not just elite athletes, but those with the focus and determination to train like one.
What's good, folks? Coach Grumman here with Olivet Athletics, head strength coach of the strength conditioning program. This is my intern, Nicole Kern. We're going to go over our Power Series movements. My Power Series exercises consist of the hip hinging movements that isolate the muscles in the posterior chain of the glutes, hamstrings, erectors, and upper traps. Exercises that in our Power Series consist of deadlift, RDL, hang clean, power clean, and snatch with multiple variations. The first exercise in the series that we like to teach is the conventional deadlift, because this sets us up for the next power movements of the hang clean, power clean, or snatch. With this exercise, it's important that you teach the approach and the setup to the bar, making sure that the movement is done with correct form. So I have my athlete step to the bar, roughly about ½ inch to an inch away. They then pull their shoulders back and they place their thumb knuckles on the seams of their quads. They then lower their hips into position, grabbing firmly equal on the bar, contracting their back to put the neutral spine, chest forward and eyes straight, making sure that the shins are neutral. If they're forward, we have them ease back onto their heels to make them more positive shin angle. So when we have the athlete set on the bar, we have them set into the pronated grip on this conventional deadlift in order to transfer to those next power movements. With this pronated grip, we then have the athlete inwardly rotate the elbows, which gives greater back activation, setting up that kinetic length in this movement. So the athlete now has the internally rotated elbows, the set back that's fully activated, and the power is sitting into the hips. We have her pull the bar, starting with the shoulder rise first, with the hips following that movement. We then lower that movement the same way that we brought it up, staying in proper alignment. Like I said, I like the pronated grip when we get ready to set to do the power movements of hang clean and the power clean and the snatch. When we start looking to develop that maximum strength, I'm going to work on a couple different implementations to allow that weight to increase. So we've got the alternating grip, where one grip is supinated and one is pronated. That allows us to have greater weight on the bar with less play on our grip. So the athlete steps in the bar, one hand goes under, one hand goes over, we lower the hips. Now, again, when we start increasing that weight, one other way to help us increase that force is we get an eccentric load on those hamstrings. So I have my athletes raise their hips up, drop under the bar, maintain that back activation, and pull. Good. Again, shoulders begin that rise, and hips and shoulders will then rise together in that kinetic movement. With our deadlift series, I like to offer variations and training in different angles, allowing for greater transfer under the sport of play. And given the limitations of hip anatomy and mobility, I like to change angles. So off of the conventional deadlift, I like to incorporate the sumo deadlift. Now, understanding that the hip extension demands are equal in each exercise, but yet placing different stress on either the quads or the lower back, I have my athletes set up, given maybe certain limitations. We step normally as into the conventional deadlift. And then from that point, in that stance, we take a step out about 4 to 6 inches on each side, making our stance comfortable just past our shoulder width. From the stance and the approach to the bar, we then make sure again that our back is set and activated. The hands this time will be in close proximity to our body in the direct middle of the bar. We then lower our hips, grab an alternating grip position, set and activate our back. We can still load our hamstrings, drop under the bar, pulling the bar, shoulders first, and then lowering the same way we brought it up. With this series of exercises, you want to watch out for a couple of mechanical errors that the athlete can do that will stop the benefits of this exercise. So, as the athlete approaches the bar, setting up, grabbing from a conventional stance and pronated grips, if they do not activate the lats and take the tension off the bar, that the shoulders will then roll forward. When those shoulders roll forward, you then lose the thoracic activation in the spine, again taking the emphasis off the hip joint. So during the exercise, if you notice that your athlete's thoracic spine is rounded, that's going to cause a lot of issues for that lower lumbar. So we then have to use the coaching cues to say, pull the shoulders back, chest out. Gives us that proper back activation, allowing us to pull that movement in unison with shoulder and hips together. Pull. Good. Forward. The second mechanical area that we want to watch out for is the hitching motion, where the hips come up first and then the shoulders rise. That takes away that kinetic link of this movement, therefore not necessarily making it a power exercise. So, when the athlete approaches the bar, steps up in the conventional stance with a pronated grip, shoulders back, grabbing the bar position. Even with a set back, if any time we notice the hip comes up first, hips come up, and you pull, that's a 2-sequence movement. We want the deadlift to be a 1-sequence movement. So again, we have to maintain. Let's get that eccentric load. Drop the hips down, pull shoulders first. Good, dropping it down. Another exercise off the deadlift series that I'd like to incorporate is the snatch grip deadlift. The snatch grip deadlift is interesting because what it does is it activates the upper body quadrants in such a way that it will actually load more stress onto the glutes. And so by doing this exercise, it will increase your strength for the conventional deadlift. With our snatch grip deadlift, I have my athletes build up a slight elevation for the bar. Again, with limitations of their body movement and positioning, I want this to be done in a safe manner. So, the athlete approaches the bar, again, roughly 1/2 inch to 1 inch from the shins, maintaining that positive shin angle. We have the shoulders rolled back. We then grab wider on the bar to when we pull that bar, it should be resting directly on our hips. For some athletes, you can use wraps, but again, we're not working on grip strength, we're focusing on that force in the hip movement. So, again, we get the back activated, we set the glutes by getting that eccentric load, dropping under, maintaining that activation, we pull the bar up. Again, with this movement, it sets great activation in the upper trap, upper back, aligns down to the hips, and it puts that large amount of stress on the glutes. The method I like to add to the conventional deadlift is post-activation potentiation, or better known as PAP. The science of PAP is where the force exerted on a muscle group, roughly 80 to 85% of the maximal 1-rep load, is made to increase at a higher rate than its previous contraction in the same muscle groups. PAP will increase mechanical performance and the rate of force development, therefore increasing their overall athletic potential. One way to incorporate the PAP method in the deadlift is we have the athlete pull the 85% load of their 1-rep max 1 to 3 times, step forward, and initiate movements within the same muscle groups. Again, this is Coach Grummett. Turn a cold current. This is our Power Series movements. Thanks for listening. Have a good day.